the North End. This is the North End.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the North End. My name's Aizaz, and I'm going to be doing the good, the bad, and the ugly for Newcastle United 1, Liverpool 2, a big old smash and grab up at St. James's Park. Now, before I start, you know what I'm going to say. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure that you're tuned into all the new content coming out of the North End, starting with this video right here. And of course, if you disagree, agree, anything, please feel free to comment below in the comments. Now, I'm going to start with the good. And obviously, the thing that's jumping out in the top of my mind is Darwin Núñez, Darweezy. But I'm actually going to go with Liverpool's ability to hold on and not capitulate in the wake of their captain and talismanic defender being sent off. Now, it's actually really pleasing as a Liverpool fan to see that we were able to take the game in certain sections and actually move the game along to the point where we were still in the game with a few minutes left. Of course, that took a little bit of luck. There was a post, there was a couple of really good chances that Newcastle had to double their lead. And of course, we were relying on who I think is the world's best goalkeeper, Alisson Becker, or at least the best goalkeeper for Liverpool, Alisson Becker. And I have to say that it was really good, if not outstanding, how Liverpool were able to just have that ability to stay in the game, not really give up too much control. You saw the formation change, and it was a thankless task for Cody Gakpo and Mo Salah up top, because we actually pulled people back into more of a tighter 4-3-2. You saw that the defenders started to defend a little bit better, which means that they've obviously got that in them, because early on in the game, we didn't really see that ability on the defensive side, even with 11 men. And look, I don't really want to get into the red card right now. I'm not going to talk about referees at all in this summary, but it was really good and pleasing for Liverpool to be able to show that kind of resolve. 100% we would have lost this game last year. As yesterday, we would have conceded the first goal, and then if we had lost another player after that, we would have been taken to the cleaners by a team as good as Newcastle United. So huge kudos to the Liverpool team. Collectively, individually, we did a really good job. We even switched up who was on the pitch a couple of times as well. And with Virgil van Dijk now suffering a one-game ban, I think it's going to be really difficult if Ibrahim Konate doesn't come back for us to win that game, which is home against Aston Villa next week. Shout out JP and Luke. I'm sure that they are going to be all over this show next week if Villa beat Liverpool. But look, Villa are a really good team going forward, and we are going to be really struggling if Ibrahim Konate can't get fit. And yet we were able to keep out a very strong Newcastle team at home yesterday, limited them to one goal. Huge kudos, as I said, to Liverpool's defence, both individually and collectively. The bad, Liverpool once again start the game pretty well. I was very happy, like against Chelsea. For Chelsea, in the Chelsea game, it was 25 minutes. Yesterday, for the Newcastle game, it was 10-15 minutes. We looked really good, and I thought this is a really good way to show our domination and just set our stall out to go and win the game. And then there was just a few key moments that I would consider quite bad from Liverpool in terms of how they were able to give up control. And I think that it's going to be a really telling way how we move forward away from home. I think at home, we've got more than enough to keep the ball, knit these cute patterns of play. I was impressed again with Szoboszlai yesterday. What a shift he put in, particularly at 10 men, getting back and forth. But above anything else, I think that Liverpool have to figure out how they take that Anfield game on the road, even against the good teams. Now, look, when I'm talking about two of the top 5 hardest away games that we'll play this season, and we played them first twice, and we got 4 points out of them. So really, I'm nitpicking, to be honest with you. However, I still think that it was pretty bad how Liverpool start the game really well and then suddenly give up so much control. And then that leads me to my ugly point, which I'll get onto in a second. But yeah, I feel like if we're going to be serious challengers for whatever at the top of the table this year, you start a game well away from home. You got to keep it up, and you got to score goals and take chances and all these things. And that all comes from for Liverpool. That all comes a lot from having play being the ones that are dictating the game. So I thought it was really bad how we start the game so strong again, and yet once again, just off a couple of key moments that rev the home crowd up, we seem to lose our heads, and it's something that we really need to figure out because it's going to be the making or breaking of this season. And finally, ugly. So I have to say, even if I do or don't agree with certain referee decisions, I think that Liverpool's ill discipline at the start of this season is pretty ugly. I think that regardless of whether McAllister should have been sent off or not, Trent was lucky to stay on the pitch yesterday. Virgil eventually got sent off. It's going to be hard enough to win games in the Premier League this season with 11 men. Teams have caught up. Teams have caught on to how Liverpool play and how other teams play. And I think it was really ugly again how Liverpool at certain times lost their head. Now, on the bad part, I was talking about football and domination, but on the ugly side, I'm going to talk about our mental softness, I guess, at certain times. And obviously, we saw the mental resilience later on as again. And ultimately, I'm really happy and excited with how yesterday went, of course. But I do think it was really ugly how Liverpool lost their heads. And I don't want to see that from experienced professionals like Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, even last week, Alexis McAllister. Don't make the referee make a decision. Just leave that out. And I get it that things get heated, and in the heat of the moment, you're doing certain things, but we have to be better. It has been really ugly these first couple of weeks. It's been emotional. We had a horrible start in terms of fixtures. Look, we got Chelsea, then we got Newcastle next week, we got Villa. Like, it's been a really difficult opening spell. Obviously, there's a lot of toxicity around the level of business we've done this summer, and I'm very excited for the transfer window to shut one way or the other because I'm over those conversations as well. I personally think Liverpool can have a really, really good season, but we have to be much better mentally from the perspective of mentally just like losing our heads. It was really ugly yesterday. That's it. Good, bad, and ugly. I feel like I'm over the moon with Liverpool's start so far. There's been moments where we've looked really good. Obviously, there's been moments where we've been under the cosh. So far, we've got 7 points from 9. I thought it was going to be a really difficult opening spell, and I wasn't necessarily looking at us keeping up with some of the early pace setters, but there's been a few drop points all over the place. So good start to the season. Can't wait for next week. And yeah, would love to know what you think about Liverpool's performance as well. And of course, special shout out to Darwin Núñez. The Liverpool fans are hoping for a good season from him this year. He took on the number 9 shirt, and hopefully there's a little symbolism there. He's had to wait his turn. He's not really had a huge run out, but surely he has to start next week now at home against Aston Villa. Anyway, that's all for now. All the best.
This is the North End. This is the North End.